June is Black Music Month, and my first guest is a piano prodigy from Detroit who's capturing the nation's attention with his unique blend of classical and contemporary sounds. His name is Charles Wilson III, but he's known professionally as Black Bach. Here's a sample of his music, followed by our conversation. We are thrilled to welcome Charles Wilson. Is it the third?
Yes.
Better known as Black Bach. I love that name. So I know you're a native Detroiter, so I have to get one thing out of the way.
Okay.
East side or west side?
West side all day.
All right, me too. All the way.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah.
So you were a child prodigy at 8 years old. Tell me about that, when you really felt this need to pursue the music career. And I understand your parents were a major influence.
Yeah. My parents were such an influence on me. I started at around age 4 and just had a knack for the instrument. I come from a family of musicians and entertainers, so I guess a lot of that played into it. But I just kept practicing. I had a great instructor that lived in Lathrop Village, and I would go every Saturday and take lessons with him, Mr. Thomas Schwartz. And it just became something that I just fell in love with. I'd say around maybe age 12 or so. And then it just became, this is what I want to do for a living. So I've been doing it ever since.
So what were the kind of unique ways that I heard about that your parents used to encourage you when you were practicing and kind of feeling your way through?
A lot of love, but also some intimidation. One of the
That's
rules,
not the part I read about.
a little bit of intimidation. One of the rules was if you don't practice, you don't eat in my house. So I ate a lot when I was a kid, so that means I practiced a lot.
Serious business. But
Yeah.
things in terms of rhythm and your mother cutting to the rhythm and those kinds of things.
Yeah. She would be very dedicated to making sure that what time we set aside for practice was there. Sometimes, like I say, she would come into the room and she would prepare dinner as I was practicing, just to make sure that I got it, everything done.
So tell me about your first piano. What was it and how did you get it?
Oh, wow. The first piano. It was, I don't know how my parents found it, but I think they paid about $100 for it. And it was a Grinnell Brothers, which is a company from Detroit.
Absolutely.
And it was huge. It was a tank. It was massive. But my dad kind of stripped it apart, some of the pieces apart, and painted it black and put it in the music room in our house. And that's how my sister and I learned off of that huge Grinnell Brothers piano.
I know all about Grinnell Brothers, participated in the big duets that they used to have at Cobo Hall.
Yeah.
Loved it. Had a wonderful teacher, Gussie Dickey, who a lot of people would know about in Detroit. Mm-hmm. So then you moved on, and obviously growing up, influenced by hip hop. So tell me about that balance, that combination between the hip hop and the classical.
Well, it was really quite interesting because my friends would be, my friends, I would hang out with them all the time. So we would be listening to all kind of different music. But then there were certain points, like I said, I would have to practice. So I would have to leave and depart from that energy and go and play Bach or Beethoven. And for me, my listening was very, it was a little bit of everything, all genres. One of the things my mother used to always say, she said she would never worry about me listening to hip hop, because I would listen to Ice Cube, and then I would listen to Tina Turner, and then I would listen to Tchaikovsky. So she never worried about what I was digesting, because I was digesting all of it.
The whole genre. And like you said, your name is pronounced Bach, even though you spell it B-O-K.
That's right.
But tell me how that is an homage.
Well, it's a little bit of an homage to Johann Sebastian, who for me was one of the first major, he shaped how we do classical music. And he was very much a renegade. But my name comes from BLK being black, which is all colors combined, which is inclusive. And then BOK is from my father's wisdom, which is everything will be okay, but you got to be okay with everything.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. So how are classical music and hip hop, how are they similar and how are they different?
Oh, same 12 notes, similar rhythms. Um, one is just how it's presented. One is presented to me in a more linear form, and the other is presented very much in a rhythmic form. So you got this classical music over here, which is uh, based on kind of the harmonic melodic structure, and then you have over here hip hop, which is very much based in its rhythm, and then it's kind of coated with its harmonic and melodic structure. So they definitely have some similarities and some differences.
So we had a chance to hear just a little taste of your wonderful music at the beginning of the show. You have performed with just an incredible range of performers. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, my first tour was with Justin Timberlake, his first solo tour, and I've got a chance to tour with Rihanna and with John Mayer and Demi Lovato and Michael Jackson Immortal, which was a game changer for me.
Absolutely. So how would you describe your music and what do you want people to take in when they hear you performing?
My music is storytelling, but it's creating enough of a palette so that people can create their own narrative. So for me, I believe that lyrics can sometimes get in the way or they can kind of give you the pathway. But with my music, I'm just laying down a foundation so you can create the pathway for yourself. And it allows the mind to travel in a way. I think my music is very much a spiritual experience as well as a community experience. And it's a way to bring people together and have a dialect or a conversation that may not have been had because of um, certain maybe a certain genre of music doesn't allow you to have this type of conversation. So I believe that my music opens up the door for that.
And I'm thrilled to get a chance to meet you because long ago I saw the segment that you did with Al Roker, and I remember
Oh wow.
saying, I have to check this person out. This is awesome.
Great. Yeah.
So, what do you say to young people who are kind of feeling their way, whether they want to pursue music as a career or not? How does music help them along the way?
For young folks, I would say that music is a way to tap into a part of you that you may not have known. Um, it's a way to identify yourself and a way to express yourself in a way that's completely different than speaking or dance or the arts as a whole are a way to express yourself in another way. And I would say the thing that's really cool about where we are as a society is that we are very accepting of expressing yourself in peculiar or amazing but unique ways. And to me, I think that's what's really important is that young people are able to express themselves authentically. And that's the thing that I think I represent most for young folks.
Great. So, how can people experience you both live as well as, streaming or social media? How can we have that experience?
Well, good thing is that I'll be in Detroit soon. So go to my website and look out for that. I love coming home. I love playing shows at home. It's the crowds is so much amazing energy and so much warmth playing in your hometown. So look out on my website for that. Also on social media, I'm Black Box, spelled BLKBOK. And that's across, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, it's all the same.
So, as you mentioned, it's nothing like playing in your hometown, but this isn't just any hometown. We're talking about Detroit.
It's
So,
Detroit.
who are your Detroit influences?
Oh, well, I came up in the Detroit jazz scene. So a lot of my instructors and teachers were the masters of the time, which, Teddy Harris and Marcus Belgrave and Charles Bowles and all the guys that were the amazing jazz masters in Detroit were my instructors and very much like other fathers or other uncles to me. So I definitely came up in a great community. There's no better place to play music than Detroit.
Absolutely. Now, have you ever performed at the Detroit Jazz Fest? That's Labor Day weekend.
I have as a teenager, but never as under the Black Buck moniker. So I'm
Okay,
looking forward to
we gotta
doing
make
that.
that happen.
We got to make that happen. Yeah.
Well, thanks again so much for sharing your philosophy. Any closing words that you'd like to share with people to inspire them to support music and enjoy music?
Yeah, support your local artists. Get out and hear some music. I mean, there's so much to to hear and experience. So go out and support some musicians. We're good folks.
Black Bach, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Looking
much,
forward to
Trudy.
seeing you and experiencing your music.
Thank you,
Thanks
Trudy.
again.
All right.